Hello students, in this video we are going to study about disaster management. So this lesson is from 11th standard geography textbook, lesson number 9 for science and arts students. So I have already posted some videos which are regarding disaster management cycle, difference between disaster and hazard, along with types of disaster, and one video regarding vulnerability, scope of capacity, along with structural and non-structural measures. They are already uploaded on my channel. You can view it. Now this is in this video we are going to study about how is the disaster management of India, how India is trying to cope with the disaster which takes place in India, any type of disaster, whether it is man-made or whether it is natural, and how are remote sensing devices helping us to analyze or predict the disasters and to make us well aware about it, and how we can be prepared to face such kind of disaster. So that is the topic of this video. So let us see some of the remote sensing devices. So the role of remote sensing devices like GIS and GPS are very much vital roles in the case of disaster management, because with the help of such devices you can understand about the upcoming disasters like cyclonic storm, when are they going to arrive, then what is the intensity of the waves, are these waves the tsunami waves. So such type of things can be detected with the help of some of the remote sensing devices or GIS or GPS. So today IT, that is information technology, is used in all the fields, as we know that we use information technology in all the fields, and it works effectively and efficiently in the case of coping with disaster also. Map and spatial information are important components for all information in the case of disaster. Hence, mapping and spatial information acquisition becomes vital for any type of disaster management. Remote sensing is very effective in the case of mapping disaster prone areas, particularly flood and affected areas. So if the flood occurrence may occur, or if the flood is going to come, so such type of things can be detected with the help of remote sensing devices. Here you can see this is an image where the devices are being kept inside the water. So this is an GPS mounted buoy. So you can see this is a satellite and this is GPS base station. So any type of big wave comes, immediately there is an indication given to the GPS satellite. Also the information is given to the GPS base station. So with the help of this, it is basically kept about 20 kilometers, and the depth is about 10 to 5 meters from the land surface. Okay, so this is how it is basically allotted inside the water or river or sea, and with the help of such devices you can detect the intensity of waves, whether those are cyclonic waves or are there any chances of floods. So microwave data can provide the information on flood inundated areas. Remote sensing satellites monitor the path of cyclones, and it can provide ample of time with warning of evacuation and preparedness in advance. So if there is an occurrence of cyclones, or if there is an occurrence of thunder wind storm, so such type of things can be detected with the help of GPS satellites. So these satellites, they predict it before only in advance, and they give us lot of time to be prepared to face such type of cyclones or to migrate from that place to some other place. Evacuation or rescue of those peoples can be done immediately before the cyclone or the thunderstorm strikes that area. The data obtained from the meteorological satellites is used for the cyclonic tracks, intensity and landfall prediction, and forecasting of extreme weather events. So because of the meteorological satellites, you can see the tracking of the cyclone. So currently where is the cyclone, then where it is going to move. So you can keep a watch on the cyclone and the intensity of landfall or any type of extreme weather condition you can detect with the help of remote sensing devices, GPS or GIS. The data from Earth observation satellite is used for monitoring the disaster events and accessing the damage. Now, with the help of satellites, you can also see that where the disaster has been occurred, how much area is damaged, how much property loss has taken place. So immediately you can see the images and you can take the news of such areas with the help of satellites. The communication satellite helps to establish communication in remote and inaccessible areas. Now, some areas which are very remote areas where the accessibility is very low, the transportation facility is very low. So, in such areas, the only solution is what? The satellites. So, these satellites can reach to the remote areas along with an inaccessible areas. So, satellites, they can be kept or they can keep a watch on any location. So GPS is also an important tool, that is global positioning system. We also have GPS in our mobile phones, we have GPS in our vehicles which keep on communicating with you and tell you the traffic condition at the places which you want to visit, the shortest route, the longest route, the kilometers, the hours, all the details, each and every details is given to you with the help of GPS. GIS has also emerged and is a very important method or methodological tool for effective planning, communication and training in the various stages of disaster management cycle. It also has a vital role to play in determining the extent of hazards and disaster. So with the help of GIS, you can train the people, you can communicate the people, you can prepare, you can plan efficiently, and with that you can avoid the hazardous effects and also the disasters. These techniques are very helpful to make the planning and policy very easy for implementation. So, in pre and post disaster, activity management role of GIS, GPS and remote sensing has an very immense role or an very greater importance. Now, what is the disaster management in India? So, India's geoclimatic condition as well as its high degree of social economic vulnerability make it one of the most disaster prone country in the world. So we know that India is blessed with different climatic condition. As you go in the north, there is extremely cold snowfall. As you go in the south, it is extremely hot. As it is a peninsula country, it is covered by coastal line from all the three sides. From all the three sides, you know, we have sea and oceans. So because of all such geographic and geoclimatic condition has made India vulnerable to various types of natural calamities or natural disasters. Now in 2004, after the tsunami approached towards the disaster management has changed drastically. Already a tsunami had occurred in 2004 which had destructed India a lot. There was a lot of human life as well as there was a lot of economic loss. So because of that, there is a drastic change and a drastic alertness was created inside the team of disaster management. So various state government were requested to set up a disaster management office at the Government of India level. Two had institute were set up in New Delhi, the National Institute of Disaster Management and National Disaster Management Authority. The aim was to mitigate the damage potential of natural disasters in future. So when such type of tsunami occurred in 2004, all the disaster management team told each and every state to make a disaster management office and to recruit the people, to recruit the well-skilled team for rescuing. Along with that, a national level disaster management office was set up in New Delhi, which was called as National Institute of Disaster Management, and National Disaster Management Authority was also set up. So why these institutes were set up? For to mitigate the damage potential of natural disaster in future. The National Disaster Management Authority has been established at the center, and the SDMA of state and district authorities at district level are gradually being formalized. In addition to this, the National Crisis Management Committee, part of the earlier setup, also functions at the center. The nodal ministers are identified for different disaster types of functions under the guidance of Ministry of Home Affairs. This makes the stakeholders interact at different levels within the disaster management framework. So at each state level, a nodal minister is appointed, and that minister is getting the guidance from the Home Minister Affairs. Okay, so whoever is the minister's affair minister, so that minister is going to give guidance to each and every state-wise nodal ministers. For disasters such as drought, the Ministry of Agriculture is the nodal agency. So if the disaster is created because of drought, so the Minister of Agriculture is going to deal with it. Military forces and paramilitary forces such as Home Guard, etc. play an important role. Various agencies such as ISRO, NRSC, that is National Remote Sensing Centers, also play an important role in the case of disaster management. So you have the agencies like ISRO. The military forces are required to rescue because they have good skills, and they can rescue the people as well as the injured people out from any type of disasters. So this is how the disaster management is done at each and every country, or you can say in India. So if the disaster is very small at village level or some settlement or community level, then the village settlement community or private sector organizations are going to take the responsibility at the local level. If the disaster is at the district level, then the district government department and the private sector organization will take the responsibility to manage it or to cope with it. If it is at divisional level or state level, then divisional government agencies and private sector organization will deal with it. And if it is at national level, then the national government agencies or the private sector organization along with the NGOs are going to cope with it. So this is how the disaster management authority has segregated the levels of disaster and the roles and responsibilities given particularly to those nodal ministers. Now, National Center for Seismology, that is NCS mobile app, is also launched in India. So the Union Minister of Earth Science has launched Indian Quake application. So this mobile app has been developed by National Center of Seismology. So this app, it tells you the location, time, magnitude of earthquake can be known after their occurrence. So when the earthquake has occurred, after the earthquake, you can see the exact location where it has occurred, exact timing when it has occurred, and what is the intensity and magnitude of that earthquake can be detected by this app. It also will help you in reducing the panic amongst the people during an earthquake. So you can understand that how strong the earthquake is. So you cannot be more panic. If it is more strong, then you can do some measures according to it. So that is helpful because of this mobile app. So this is all about the disaster management. So all the videos are already uploaded. Whole chapter is totally covered. If any query, you can comment me in the comment section. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe the channel.